Okay, we'll get some comments maybe first on general practices we've had the last few days, and then maybe an overview of signing day, and then take your questions. And remind me, no live stream.
No live stream.
Oh, it says that every time. I don't even know what that means, actually. So practice has been really good the last couple days. A lot of enthusiasm the first 2 days of the week. I'm thinking of it from perspective of Monday and Tuesday. We did a lot of third down, special teams, fundamentals, good on good, back to your basics. And the guys really competed hard. We had good competitions out there. We went ones on twos, twos on ones, ones on ones, twos on twos. We practiced a lot of guys. It was good to get the new guys, the new 4 guys out there competing a little bit. And then today we introduced some things on Texas and started implementing some of the game plan things while also still working on good and special teams. So guys have been great, good energy at practice. Been really pleased with the enthusiasm and the leadership out there. And then the signing class, which is unique to have that and practice going on, which is extremely tough management to deal with the 2 things going on at once. But it's a good day for us. We got a lot of new Bulldogs. You know, you guys would have to tell me. I don't know if we signed them more this time than last time early, but it seemed like we signed a ton early last time, and it seemed like we signed a bunch this time early. So we have a few spots left, and we still got some targets out there that we want to go after. But I think the totality of the class is it's a good balance. You can obviously see that we had to go after defensive linemen because we need defensive linemen in our program, the good big body types, and we're pleased to get that done. Areas we still got to work on or we fell short on is probably defensive back and receiver and also probably some more offensive linemen or another offensive lineman. So those are things we're trying to add to this class to make it complete. But we're excited about this group and very pleased with it.
Questions?
Oh, we're not raising your hand. All right. I'll get the Justin Fields question out of the day. Has he informed you guys he intends to transfer?
I think he's looking at his options. Let me say this about Justin. Justin is working extremely hard. He is competing. He's in the meeting rooms. He's still rolling and going with our twos. His information to us is I'm looking at my options, which is what you do when you go into the portal, which we all know he's in. So that's the extent of it, and that's the conversation that we have had. But I am pleased with his work towards Texas and what he's doing out there with us. He's had really good demeanor and good reps and good competition.
The fact that he's considering a transfer, would that affect how you employ or deploy him in the Sugar Bowl? If he's intending.
No, we're trying to figure out how to beat Texas, and we're going to do everything we can to beat Texas. And whatever that instills for a game plan, he decided he wanted to play in the Sugar Bowl, and I told him absolutely, we'd love for you to play in the Sugar Bowl and want you there. And he's come out to work and do that and support his teammates.
How much, if anything, did that have to do with the young man that you guys got out of Michigan? Sounds like a pretty good player.
Well, I mean, that had an impact. I mean, obviously, we had to recruit. We have to recruit quarterbacks every year. You have to keep quarterbacks in your program. And as you know, we were deficient at quarterback the last, I guess, couple years. We only had 2 on scholarship last year. So, I mean, ultimately, we'd like to have 4 scholarship quarterbacks in our program. That is really hard to do nowadays because they're so volatile and they leave so often. So we're always working off a number of hoping to be at 4. But we were very fortunate to have that young man in camp. We had communicated with him. He expressed interest, and the interest was mutual, and we think he's a really good player. I think he's very talented.
Sorry, Coach, you'd addressed this in Destin. You were asked about just the nature of the game now, especially now with these transfer rules that have kicked in even since then. Is this just going to be a reality as far as quarterbacks on a year-to-year basis now everywhere, you think?
I think it's going to be a reality, not just quarterbacks, just kids in general. You know, if you look at the transfer rate in high school, every high school program I go in, the coaches in Florida say it's crazy here. A kid can go to any school he wants. The coaches in Georgia say it's getting crazy here because kids can move and bona fide move and go to different places. So you hear the effect of that, and I think the easier it is for a kid to transfer in high school, then it's easy for him to do it in college as well. And it's going to be more who adjusts to it and who handles it well. I'm not the one to sit here and say whether it's right or wrong to be able to do it. It's our job as coaches to deal with it. It is the landscape that we now face. I do wish there was some timing that was a little better, The toughest thing is guys making decisions to do that mid-season. That's really tough. Fortunately, we didn't have that issue, but I think the time is now when the season ends that kids want to explore their options. That's a lot cleaner than the fourth game of the year.
Between now and whenever Justin makes his decision, is there anything from the coaching standpoint that you guys will be doing to try to get him to stay?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything you can do from that standpoint. He's not foolish enough to fall victim to that. I mean, we've been very open and honest that we would like for him to stay, that we want to support him and his endeavors here and all the goals he came here to accomplish. And he's worked really, really hard to accomplish those during the year. I mean, this kid competed his tail off all year, worked, played a team role throughout the year, and been very pleased with what he's done for our team throughout the year. Look, guys, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I do want to talk about these signees because these guys know they have one opportunity, and there's some really good football players, and I'd hate for the Justin Fields just to overshadow that for what these kids have done for this program and the ones coming to join it. If there's any more questions, I'd be glad to answer them, but I'd love to talk about these signees.
How quick did the Mathis situation come? When did y'all first?
Yeah, it was fast.
contact him? I mean, how
Well, I mean, I think it was a mutual thing. For us, it became immediate. I mean, you wouldn't be a very good coach if you didn't think this could happen all year, right? So we were anticipating this as we looked across the country at quarterbacks. What you find tough is you're talking in hypotheticals. So, yeah, I might be interested, Coach, if this or if that, if y'all have one guy. But that's hard to do in the middle of a season. So I was very animated with our staff about continuing to recruit kids across the country because we have a possible situation with one quarterback on scholarship. So we tried to keep relationships developed. But that one came really fast where there was mutual interest. He'd come here to camp before, and he jumped on board.
So there's still more interest in furthering your quarterback pool here going forward.
Well, I mean, I think we're always looking to improve our roster. So if there's opportunity for to get quarterbacks in here, we certainly want to be able to do that. I mean, you look at what Jake has left, you look at the possibility of Justin staying, you look at the possibility of who we've got signed. You're always trying to be around 4. That's our goal.
Looking at, obviously, you alluded to a lot of defensive linemen, a lot of defensive players, period. The linebacker out of Mississippi, linebacker in particular, just it appeared that, a real emphasis on getting strong on that side of the ball. I haven't balanced it out as offense versus defense, but it seemed like a real a defensive kind of tilt to this class.
Yeah, I don't know where those numbers fell. You'd have to probably tell me. I didn't look at it like that's what we were trying to do. We also got to the point where some of it was best available, meaning we're going to take the best available player in some slots. And certainly some of those guys we got at the end and still hope to get in the next coming weeks, that if we think they're an impact player, we're probably going to take them regardless of the depth at the position. But it wasn't slanted to be heavy defense for any reason. There's still offensive players on the board that we would want to get.
You're used to getting the number one running back out there. How about the one you got now? And I guess a couple got away.
No, we're excited about Kenny. Kenny gives us something we don't have. We've thought all year we needed a 225. I mean, we felt like we were missing that. And running back is a unique position, guys. Look at what DeAndre Swift did as a freshman. Look at what Nick Chubb did as a freshman. Look at what Sony and Gurley, all these guys. So it's not a position that you have to have. You can go out and sign really good players. And we know we've got the possibility of having 3 guys leaving next year if Holyfield stays. So we're going to have an opportunity to go out and sign the best backs in the country next year. We've got a lot of backs coming back in our program, and we've got good young backs. And we think Kenny gives us something. I mean, Kenny's going to be a 220-pound guy that's a bruiser and very athletic out of the backfield. We're excited about what he can do.
Kirby, you have players on this signing class from Rhode Island, Texas, Michigan, all over. What does it say about the appeal of for people that maybe didn't grow up Georgia fans to want to come here and play?
Well, I think it says something about our brand, that it's, the fact we went and played across the country last year, played in, probably the most televised game this year, 3 of the 4 most televised games last year. I mean, it's just, we're getting exposure. And when you play in big football games, I think kids are attracted to that. So we don't look at it like, oh man, let's go to Texas and get a player. We look at it as where are the best players that are interested in us. And there's a lot of talent in the state. I mean, we missed some guys in the state that I thought were really good football players that we wanted, and that's always going to be our goal, to keep the talent here. But if we have an opportunity to go out of the state and get somebody, we're going to do that. I think you got to go tell them, Claude. They're going to have a meeting in here. They may not know we're doing this.
What about the quarterback from Michigan and keeping your relationship open with him? I know he visited here, I want to say July of 17, I think. What did you like about him, and how did you get back in so late?
Well, we liked his athleticism and his arm motion. He's got a really strong whip. He can pop the ball, and thought a lot of him. We didn't stay in communication the whole time from that period of time until finding out Justin was leaving. So there was a period of time there where there wasn't communication, but it did fire back up quickly. And to be honest, there was a lot of communication with a lot of quarterbacks across the country when you talk about University of Georgia and the potential of being the only scholarship guy besides Jake Fromm. There was communication with a lot of guys, but he was the one that seemed the most interested, and we also liked the most and thought that he brought the most to the table for us.
With tight end, obviously, a couple unknowns with Isaac and Luke, and you guys use tight ends so much now.
Yeah.
You guys on a lot of plays. What does Ryland bring, and how do you see that room at this point?
Yeah, we're excited about Rylan. He's extremely tough, athletic. I mean, the guy makes a ton of plays, really good baseball player. He's talented. You know, he's injured as well, which is tough because of the situation we're in at tight end. That's where I would be saying that's the biggest concern, because we've got Isaac sitting there that we don't know what he's going to do yet. He hasn't decided. And then also with Luke. So that's a situation that we want to be able to improve our roster. We got to look within our roster and see if there's anybody else that can play that position. But he's a very talented player that we expect to be back for fall and help us.
Do you tweak your philosophy on JUCO guys when you're looking for immediate help in a position like defensive line?
Yeah, I think so. But, I mean, we really didn't sign. I mean, we signed the one kid that was 1 year, Trammell. I mean, he was the only defensive lineman from junior college. I don't look at Jermaine as a defensive lineman. I look at him as a pass rusher. And we certainly feel like we've dropped off in our speed on the edge from the Lorenzos and Davins and Leonard Floyds of the years to be able to get Jermaine and Nolan. You know, I don't know that there's two better pass rushers in a signing class anywhere in the country when it comes to speed. Jermaine can run, Nolan can run, and these guys they've got to help us disrupt quarterbacks, you know, which we struggle with this year.
The past two classes, you guys have brought in 5 inside linebackers, I think it is, or 5 guys that projected that position, and all of them seem to be really highly thought of players. Kind of what have you guys really been looking for at that position, and you know, how do you feel about the 3 guys that may not even be 3 guys, you may can correct me on that you got in this class?
We got 3, but I mean the biggest issue at inside backer is we're losing about 800 snaps. That's a lot of snaps. So who's going to replace those 800 snaps? Well, you look at the 2 guys we signed, one has an ACL and one's probably going to have a shoulder surgery. So when you add that up, we're signing guys, but they're not going to be available immediately. Now, should they be back for the season? Yeah, but it's tough first season off of an ACL. That's not – it's hard. I've watched kids for years struggle with that. And, you know, Nakobe's coming in as the only healthy guy that's able to practice right away and should be able to come in and compete. Quay and Channing are both getting better. But the inside linebacker position is a unique position now where it's you got to be extremely athletic. You got to be able to run and play in space, and we think those guys can do that.
Couldn't help but notice, and I hate to get off the recruiting class, but couldn't help but notice on Monday, didn't see D'Angelo out there. What's his status with you guys right now?
Yeah, D'Angelo's not currently right now not with the team.
Same situation as before, then in the spring and last season where he's.
Well, not right now. He's just not with the team. So I wouldn't say it's the same situation as before. He's just not currently with the team.
This is related to recruiting, so I apologize for bringing Justin Fields up again. I just wondered, are you annoyed with the timing of this?
No, I can't be annoyed. I mean, look, the kid's doing what he thinks best for him, and he's looking at it from his perspective. I respect that. So the timing is what it is. What would you rather him done it the week of Georgia Tech? I mean, there's no good time for that. Now, if he's going to make a decision, he can't very well wait till after the bowl game because school starts at these places the 8th. So what is he going to do? Announce it the 2nd? There's no good time ever for that. So I'm not annoyed by that at all. But from a recruiting perspective, it was challenging for us. Put yourself in the shoes of a kid trying to decide if you want to come to Georgia at quarterback. You don't know if he's going to be there or not. You know what I mean? And that makes it tough because You're not sure. So it's like, well, he might be there, he might not be there. But that's the rules we have. That's currently the body of work we have.
Do you have any expectation of a timetable with him?
No, I don't have an expectation at all. I mean, I think it's at his timetable. He's got to talk to the people he's got to talk to. He's got the freedom to communicate now, so he'll be able to communicate with people and talk to other programs, and they'll reach out to him. And it's just like us. There's people in the portal that we look at each day to say, can these people impact our roster? That's what college football is now.
A couple more questions?
Specifically on the Kobe Dean, of course, he's one of the later guys, but I guess the late guy to come in today. Just kind of how does he fit? He looks like a kind of perfect picture of a linebacker you'd like to have.
Yeah, he's really athletic. I mean, he's fast, athletic. He's intelligent. He's high character. I mean, when you look at the intangibles this guy has, I mean, he's got a great family. I mean, the first thing his family said was safety, academics, football. They wanted them to go to a safe, good campus, wholesome campus. They know Georgia is that. They believe in Georgia. They know the program we have. They really bought into Athens. And then the academics. You know, he wants to be an engineering student. Where better to be an engineering student than the University of Georgia? And our engineering department has done a tremendous job carving out how he can do it. We just had a young man graduate, Jackson Harris, with an engineering degree. I mean, Kobe's a kid that you could call him on the phone and he would say, Coach, I'm sorry I can't talk tonight. I've got to go work on my schoolwork. I've got to maintain my 4.0. I mean, how many kids are going to say that? He does that a lot. So I think he buys into the intangibles, and we're excited about what he brings to the table, just like a lot of these guys.
Tom,
Kyle?
definite position.
Yeah, he's a wide receiver. Were you trying to move him on me already?
I don't know. I'll cover it.
Oh, he's listed as a receiver on my sheet. I didn't know what they put him down as. I probably did that because he played both ways some in high school, but he's a wide receiver for us.
I'm sorry. There's a couple guys out there who said they were going to make they were going to keep their announcements. They made a decision whether they're going to keep their.
You're trying to ask me if I have any papers?
No, I just wondered. Do you know of some? Do you have some knowns that aren't out there yet that you're operating?
You're losing me here. Do I have knowns that are out there? Are you asking me if I have papers and not telling you? Or are you asking, I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, I'm just wondering, some of these guys have said that are considering Georgia, really deep in with Georgia, they're just not going to say right now.
Right.
So, yeah.
So if they're not going to say, then why would I say? No.
Run out if you got the word.
No, I don't have the word.
Just to clarify on the Gibbs thing, he's not on the team. Is there any chance he can come back? Has a decision been made?
He's not on the team.
Okay. And then
Thanks.
the other question I had was about the Texas run defense. They were talking about transitioning against an SEC offense.
Yeah, I think that Tom's.
Their defense set up compared to SEC defense.
Their defense is really good and physical. I think people have misconstrued. All Tom was saying was they run the ball in that league too. Oklahoma ran the ball on us last year and did a good job doing it. So I don't think he was saying that we don't have the capacity to run the ball. He's saying there are run teams in their conference that they have to play against. And when you look across the board, he's right. They do have run teams in that conference. There's a perception that the ball's thrown every single snap out there, and that's not the case. There's a lot of spread plays where they do run the ball. They're not in tight formations, but they do a tremendous job defensively. They've got some really quick defensive linemen. We've studied and mirrored some of the things they do defensively. We think Todd Orlando is one of the best defensive coordinators in the country, and we copycat things off what they do.
Have you played a drop zone defense? I'm sorry. Have you played a drop zone defense like Texas? Has there been anybody who's scheduled that's similar to them?
That plays a drop zone defense. Where have you been studying drop zone
Jim
defense?
Brown was telling us that
They have drop zone, yeah, but we have drop zone too. I mean, they have a lot. Primarily, probably not primarily. No, we probably haven't played anybody that primarily does it. We do it sometimes defensively, so that we face us all the time in practice. But we haven't played anybody that does it quite as much as they do it. But they do a good job of doing it and changing it up. Thanks.
I thought